aka Diz, and this is The Force Always.
Okay, so welcome to the show. This is the news. Later on in the show, I will be doing something very different and giving you a Tom Macdonald Gravestones review. Almost to the point where giving him a general review and his tunes, but particularly on Gravestones, Tom Macdonald. Why am I doing it on a Star Wars channel? To do something different. I've just noticed him a lot on YouTube, from him being trending and things like that, as I'm into hip-hop as well. Plus, I do sort of think he almost looks like a Star Wars character. That doesn't mean he's ugly. That doesn't mean he's pretty. It's just, up there. But anyway, that'll be later on the show in the review section, so stick around for that. So the Star Wars news this week, Mando Mondays has been announced. Every Monday, I think, late October, you got to go to mandomondays.com, and you can buy some merchandise, from figures to pop vinyl, to some unusual things. I don't know what this particular thing is. It's with Baby Yoda, of course, but what it is, I'm unsure. But their range of figures look pretty good. The pop vinyl you can probably get at your pop culture store, but so there was a number of items you can check out. Mando Mondays, late October, big announcement for Star Wars fans. A little bit of a cash grab, but still, if you're up there and you've got some spare cash, maybe do it. To more news, Mark Hamill appears, he's the guy who plays Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, if you don't know, just in case. He is appearing in some Uber Eats ads, not airing here in Melbourne, Australia, or even Australia for that point, but these ads are appearing online. You can check them out. Mark Hamill, and I keep forgetting the star of that Star Trek show, the other guy. Let's call him the other guy. It's sort of like Star Wars meets Star Trek, but it doesn't really give it so directly. It's that, but there is that sort of feel about it. I think they're great ads. Uber Eats in this country has a different type of ad. One of our big comedians here, and one of the Kardashians appears in the ad, but it's good, but it's a bit overdone with. But Mark Hamill being Luke Skywalker in this sort of gritty looking ad. The ad looks fantastic. I love this looking, the feel, the comedy. I get it. Love it. It was great. So check those out. Mark Hamill on Uber Eats ads. That's available. I'm sure somewhere online you can check it out. If not, if there's an UberEats.com, check that out. Anyway, to more news. Ushi update. Ushi is something you can only get at the moment here in Australia. It's a supermarket called Woolworths, or as we know it as Woolies. They're giving away a little figurine about this big of Disney Plus characters, and one of the Disney Plus characters is a range from The Mandalorian, and every time you spend $30 of shopping, you get one. Well, someone like myself pushes hard, on the actual customer service representative and say, up the Ushis. And I've been working hard on this, let me tell you, my friends. Out of the total of about 13 Ushis I've got, 2 of them are Mandalorian. And here are the 2. One is Kylo Ren. This was actually the first Ushi. It was opened up by my wife, so she's had the luck of Star Wars. That won't be appearing on this episode as she's not here at the moment. But anyway, she may appear in further episodes, I don't know. She is a star. But she opened up this one. It was Kylo Ren. It was a clear version of Kylo Ren. I think that's pretty much a collector. And the Stormtrooper. It changes colour. How, I don't know. But it does change colour. That's the only 2 I've got. I'm really pushing hard for just a baby Yoda. I don't care if I get Darth Vader. There's only a select few of Mandalorian Star Wars characters, but technically Darth Vader's not. But you know, welcome to Australia. They see Star Wars Mandalorian, they think Darth Vader's in it. But that's Australia anyway. So these two characters I've got. That's my Ushi update for this week. Hopefully next week I can show you something else, but we'll have to wait and see for that. Anyway, to more news. Star Wars Celebration online. You can still buy certain things online. Go over there and buy whatever collectibles that you want. It will be the celebration that is not celebrated. So that in itself could be a collectible sort of feel to it. I think pins are still available. They're very highly popular at Star Wars events, especially Star Wars celebrations. So check that out, StarWarsCelebrations.com. You could be able to get some things on there still. Anyway, that's the Star Wars news for this time around. Let's get into views. Now, views this time around, it's my story idea. It's just a story idea that I have with Star Wars. You know, it could be anything. As I've said many times before, it could be in a poster, a story idea for a poster. It could be a saga, the actual saga itself. It could be a standalone film. But this time, because you got these Uber Eats ads and you sort of saw Star Wars with Star Trek, the main characters, Mark Hamill, and I keep forgetting that guy's name, my God. But anyway, he's a great actor in himself. Would it be a great idea to have a Star Wars movie with a Star Trek character? For us Star Wars fans, I think there will be a little bit of a laugh about it. I think for a certain moment of time it would be sort of funny, but then it would be a bit of a gimmick. This is a story idea that is not a story idea. I highly suggest to the writers or producers, if they're watching this particular show, I think to have a Star Trek character in Star Wars can work, but it's got to be really heavily disguised. It cannot look like the person we know. I think that's a key point in people who get, unfortunately, recognized for one character in their life and they're stuck, they can't get any other work. Sort of, for example, only to a small amount. I mean, Mark Hamill himself, you know, you can recognize him quite easily as Luke Skywalker in pretty much everything. The only time that I did not recognize him the first time was in the Kingsman movie. At the start, I was amazed. The second watch, I thought, wait a minute, that's Mark Hamill. But you need to sort of have the character not look like that person in the show that they were in, especially Star Trek. For me, I'm not Star Wars versus Star Trek. I've never sort of bought into this whole sort of thing. It makes me laugh, the idea of it, but it's just something I don't buy into. I you know, if you're Star Trek, you're Star Wars, whatever it is, it's your liking. But I do think if you're going to have a character, especially from Star Trek, appear in a Star Wars film, make sure when you're creating the story for the character, I think it's got to be not recognizable as the person we know what that person looks like, especially in Star Trek. That's a sort of story idea. That's not a story idea. Sort of my Seinfeld moment, you could say. A story idea, that's not a story idea. But anyway, so that's my story idea for this time around for views. Let's get into reviews. Just taking a bit of a breath mint here. But the reviews this time around is on Tom Macdonald's Gravestones song and video. Now let me just go straight off the bat. Let's get the Gravestone thing out the way. I thought the song was good, not great. It could have been better from what I know that Tom Macdonald can do. It could have been a bit more aggressive and passionate. I like his standalone, only person in the video videos. I just think the background could have been a bit more, creative, even though I sort of get what he's trying to do. But I think the video, along with the song, I'll give it 8 out of 10. That's Tom Macdonald's Gravestone. Now let me just get into Tom Macdonald, the rapper, the musician, the artist, whatever you want to say. Look, I am a hip-hop guy. I've been creating hip hop for many years, many decades. I think since the first time I did any sort of track was in 1986. I've been with the culture since 1983. So I've seen hip hop come from nothing to a great something. Here in Australia, hip hop is greatly received, but not like in America. It's in a different type of level and understanding. But there's a big community here. It has developed. I've seen it from nothing to something, I've said. But Tom MacDonald's the type of rapper, especially with the hip-hop community here in Australia, that would be not widely accepted. But I think there will be a part of the community that would like him. Personally, I respect and like his stuff. I'm not always into his things. I don't like his more commercialized, happy tunes, but they still have strong messages. He's got great lyrics that he puts together. I wouldn't the most genius lyricist I've ever known. That for me is still Rakim. That's Eric B. and Rakim. That lyricist is amazing. But anyway, Tom MacDonald, I respect greatly, and I think I do enjoy his stuff. He's definitely a person that really says it how it is. He definitely has passion behind what he has got to say, and I sort of like how he rubs it into the hip-hop community. I, for one, have had a very tough time with the hip-hop community myself through the decades. Being there on my own in the beginning and then having people, move into the culture was a bit invasive, and especially when I was not so greatly accepted. Yes, I have made good decisions and bad decisions, but I've still kept to the integrity of hip-hop, of what I like hip-hop as. I'm coming from a breakdance era, that's way back, way before gangster rap and all this. But Tom MacDonald I respect, and I really do enjoy his stuff. I do look forward to see what he has to say next, even though it's a little bit predictable now. But he has developed an idea that I think every artist in the world should really embrace. And that is the music label. He's done this on his own, and I highly respect that. You don't need a music label. Just be the label yourself. A music label equals bank. All they are is a bank. You are indebted to them, the bank. That's what I've got to know. And I've got to know not just hip-hop in this country, there's many other types of forms of music in this country that I'm connected to, that I know of, who've got success out of their music, rock or dance or whatever it is. But I think the key point to Tom MacDonald and my respect to him is that he's done it on his own. He has mentioned that he's got other people involved, but he essentially, writes, produces, and puts it out himself. That's the key. Just do it. And I do that myself. Sometimes I do it with a video. Sometimes I do it with just a picture and the song. But all my songs are put out there, especially on YouTube. It's a very accessible means these days. If you do want to check out my stuff, I've got a range of different type of stuff, mainly hip-hop based. You can find it on a channel called Beats in Pieces. Now, it's a little bit hard to find Beats in Pieces, but if you put BEATSNPIECES, look for the YouTube channel. That way, if you cannot find it, just dial in customer service for life. That could be another way of finding it. That's one of the tunes I did, and it was actually, that tune was for a group that I have with another friend of mine that has passed away, and it was a tribute track to him. It was called For Life, and so I'm continuing our sort of legacy on, even with him passing, in respect, but that was a tribute track I did for him. My views don't get massive. I'm not about massive amount of views. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that there is sort of a Tom MacDonald ideal of thinking, release it yourself, do it yourself, that's it. So I think Tom Macdonald's an artist I actually enjoy, and I think he's actually produced and written stuff better than most, legacy rappers that I've got to know recently. But, there's a lot out there. If you like hip-hop, you'll sort of like Tom Macdonald and you sort of won't. But for me, I'm for him and his creativity. I think he's up there. And in fact, one of my songs I've got coming out soon is called Police the Police. I'm soon to be releasing this. There's no release date yet. I'm just putting it together. Final touches. It will definitely have no video, just a picture and the song. But it's a very passionate song. But anyway, that's coming soon, just in case you want to know. So the review for Gravestones, Tom Macdonald, 8 out of 10. Check that one out. Anyway, let's get into interviews. Interviews, there's 2 questions I asked myself for you guys out there. First question is, should Star Wars have a longer break than it is going through at the moment? The next possible point, besides The Mandalorian, is 2022 for a movie. Should they go on longer? And I'm saying, 2023. 2023 is the next movie release time. I think it can hold off. I will be disappointed in holding off. I'm a person, probably like yourselves out there, just want it all the time. But with time in between, it does create more desire for it, especially with the masses. And personally for myself, the build-up would be greater. But I would love it to do 1 or 2 movies per year, and I could deal with it. A lot of people can't. But I think it can, this time around, hold off a bit longer, especially with the whole COVID-19 thing. This year has flown, or I cannot remember so well because we've just been all on this COVID-19 thing, especially here in Melbourne where we're still in lockdown. Hopefully coming out of lockdown this Sunday, but we'll have to wait and see for that. Anyway, that was the answer to the first question. The second question, is Star Wars 2023 next release time too short? I don't think it's too short. I would have something, as I've said today, but I think with the whole pandemic, unfortunate thing that's been happening around the world, that extra bit of time is going to be required, especially with a Star Wars movie. You have to get it deep and close and personal with people, and I just think the spread is important, not to keep on spreading. And but I look forward to whatever they're presenting. I'm sure you are as well. But I think it's sort of perfect timing. It's not too far. It's not too short. But yeah, that's what I think. So anyway, that is the show for this time around. Please subscribe to the channel, The Force Always, only on YouTube. I'm here on a weekly basis with Star Wars news, views, reviews and interviews of all types that sort of connects to the Star Wars universe, or comes, from a perception of a Star Wars fan, which is myself. Anyway, until next week, as I say, keep rocking.